What's good, YouTube? In today's video, we about to react to why this black woman decided to drop some truth on white Americans' lies. Let's get it. Let's go. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Oh,
chattel slavery. What have be like the greatest show on earth? Because you think about it, right? Like,
I'm loving
for
it.
instance,
Let's see.
since the days of chattel slavery, what have white men always said? Black men are the ones who are sexual deviants. Black men are the ones who fantasize about raping women and children. Black men are the ones we have to protect the women and children from. That is the collective delusion that white people have been operating under. And so they've been treating black men this entire time as if black men are the ones to be scared of. Now, don't get me wrong. I would never defend men in general in public, like capital M, man. I would never defend the man in public. But the facts are that this entire time, it's been white men, the most conservative, the most upstanding citizens of white men who are predators of sexuality, to the point where they're running whole global international fucking organizations for this shit. Not black men. Black men ain't really caught up in that shit. Some are, like Diddy. But like for the most part, the highest levels or the lowest levels, depending on how you look at it, of sexual deviancy, sexual predatory like behavior, rape and pedophilia, incest, all of that shit. Now white people are starting to wake up to the fact that they're the ones leading the charge on that. White people also love to act as if they're the only disciplined ones in the room, and that they're the only ones with class in the room, and that communities of color are too loud or too brash or too crass or whatever, as if like they're above us because they know how to act and like they act better, old money aesthetic or whatever, when I have quite literally never in my life seen anybody more ghetto, ratchet, fucking trashy, low down than Trump and the people he surrounds himself with. Those are the dirtiest, slimiest fucking people I've ever seen. They're way more ghetto than any hood rat I've ever met. I pretend as if white people can't be just as ghetto.
She ain't lying. She is not lying.
If not more, as communities of color is wild as fuck to me. Like this is some grade A fucking trash. And it's clear proof that money cannot buy class. That's why they hated Obama so much, because Obama put a crack in the mirror. Obama was like maybe the first modern crack in their fun house of illusions, and then Trump just like is like crashing all the mirrors down into ash. But Obama was definitely the first crack. Obama was their first inclination that, oh wait, are we in a fun house? Is everything that we believed actually the opposite? Wait a minute. Obama was the catalyst. They hated him for that. They did not want to wake up. They're like that.
Hey, shout out to Obama.
Twice, who worked on the island, and she knew that she was under a spell, but she got mad at the main character because the main character woke her up from the spell, and she's like, but I didn't want to wake up. Like that's how white people are. There's been this whole myth, this lie, this collective delusion that black people are the ones you should be scared of. Black people are so violent. Black people are so angry.
Black people is this, black people that.
What have we been seeing since 2015? If not white people crashing the fuck out. Marching in the streets with torches like it's 1925, talking about we will not be replaced. Annihilating their entire families, shooting up schools, churches, concert halls, grocery stores, other types of
you name it,
nightclubs, like all types of shit is coming out now. These poor little white girls, and honestly these little white children in general, have been getting fucking ran through by their fathers, their mothers, their aunties and uncles, granddaddies. Like, you ask the nearest white person sitting next to you if there was some pedophilia going on in their family. At any point in the last 3 generations, I guarantee you they're going to say yes. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that pedophilia doesn't happen or like only happens in white communities, but what I am saying is that white people in particular really
act like it doesn't happen.
Perfect act.
Yeah, they act like they don't. It's not happening. They're trying to put a different persona on
some like don't worry darling type shit. They walk around like Stepford Wives and shit, as if some dark, demonic, dirty shit is not going on behind closed doors in their houses, and they're so quick to point the finger at people of color as if they could never do any wrong. Mind you, some of the worst, most atrocious, inhumane, heinous fucking acts of sexual depravity are going on in white households at every income level. And
we had an eye, y'all, but hey, she is going And she not holding back, y'all. She not holding back. This video deserves a like. And if y'all want to check her out, make sure you guys go check out the main reaction.
Now we're finally starting to see it. At least these communities of color where crazy shit like that happens, at least they're not trying to walk around acting as if they're like gods walking the earth, trying to position themselves as the moral standard and the cultural standard that everybody else should follow. Like, it's the hypocrisy for me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. The myth of American exceptionalism, America's the greatest country on earth, that's been proven false over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, repeatedly, for the past like 10 or 11 years. We do not have the best education. We don't have the best infrastructure. We don't even really have the best culture. Like, our culture revolves around working ourselves to death.
Yeah.
Americans aren't even the best at living life. Everybody's waking up to how evil the white evangelical church is. So all of these white Christians who for the past 400 plus years have been the gold standard of morality and character in this country, or they appointed themselves as the gold standard of morality and character in this country. Now
it's crazy because now that people are speaking about this, it's just a lot of stuff that I witness is waking up in my eyes. Like, dang, I remember this. I remember that. I remember this. I remember when this happened. I remember saying this. It's crazy how so much is coming out in 2026.
All seeing how morally bankrupt and fucking rotten white Christians are. But the thing is, black people always knew that white Christians were morally bankrupt and rotten because it was white Christians that did slavery. It wasn't atheists doing slavery. It wasn't fucking Buddhists during slavery. That was a white Christian thing. It was white Christian churches that would make it a church event to lynch a black man or a black woman or a black child. We've always known that there was so much evil and so much dirt and so much like darkness in the white church. We've always known that. But we did not have the sway over public opinion the way that white Americans did. So we couldn't convince anybody. It was just something that we knew among ourselves in the black community. Don't go over there. Those white people are dangerous. Now the whole world is starting to see them for who they are, and it's because of Trump. Trump opened Trump revealed
so many eyes.
All of the skeletons in white America.
So many eyes.
All of them. Literally all of them. How they don't respect the military. They just like really love and fantasize and like jack off to the idea of imperialism and blood. It has nothing to do with military pride. They just really, really, really like the idea of America sticking its dick in everything around the world and then coming home and beating their chest about it. They just worship power. That's what's being revealed. Like, white culture is really just the worship of power and money. And that's why
literally it's all about popularity. It's all about popularity.
Like, when I was a kid, I was in like high school, and this white girl in my class, I think her name was Katie. Their names are always Katie. This white girl in my class was like, white people don't have any culture. And I was like, what do you mean? You have capitalism. That's like your whole culture. That's your whole thing. That's why when you ride through white neighborhoods, you see all these big ass houses with no blinds, because it's their culture to show off all the shit they have and to flaunt their money and wealth, but in a subtle way so that they don't.
That is not that. I mean to say that she's not lying about that, because every time I deliver in certain neighborhoods, they got them wide open. Especially with those big old TVs when I deliver at night. They got them big TVs. For example, their doors, they have clear through doors. You can see all the way through their back door. You can see that they have a piano, a fountain. Yeah.
Don't seem garish about it so that they're not obnoxious, because that's what the blacks do. Since the Revolutionary War, there's been this myth that America was founded on the principles of independence and freedom and equality for all, which of course anybody who's ever known anything has always known that that's bullshit, because this country is so far from the land of the free. We hold the majority of the world's prisoners in the land of the free. Like, the hypocrisy, the jokes write themselves. Like, the irony is ironing. But white people have really bought into this idea that America is this like democratic ideal of a country, and that everybody in the world should look up to us.
Yeah.
Of course, again, black people always knew that wasn't true. But now that white delusion of America being the most exceptional country on planet Earth is now butting up against the reality that really this entire time America's just been a bully that's been excellent at propaganda and PR.
Yeah.
That's one thing we got in the bag.
Yeah.
PR and media. We can put a fucking spin on some shit. America's like Olivia Pope.
Oh God.
But not classy and doesn't really have the same moral compass that she does. America is like if Hollis Doyle was Olivia Pope. All of the pillars of modern society that have ever been weaponized against the people in order to keep us in control and keep us in line, and that means the power structure between parents and children, and parents being abusive and controlling and domineering and keeping the children under their thumb, the press, the churches, the politicians, all of these pillars of society are now falling. They are crumbling in front of our eyes, and now people can finally start to see straight because all of the pillars, all of the tools that they
Starting to see reality
to manipulate us don't have the power that they once did. So it's like causing all of this shit to be revealed. All of the illusions are falling. The veil is not even thin anymore. The veil is completely gone. Anybody who can no longer see through the veil that's not there anymore is doing it by their own volition because they just cannot like bring.
I think all this is only, I mean, everybody know, obviously it's obvious, but I feel like the Epstein files is the only reason why everything like this, everything's been exposed. If it wasn't for the Epstein files being exposed, nothing would be known. I don't even think illusion would be in anybody's mouth. I mean, we always talk about it, but we still would be talking about it if those files didn't come out, right?
Themselves to wake up to reality. All of this is happening and it's making me feel better.
You know, it's crazy because I've always thought about it. It's always been in my head, like, why did some of this stuff don't feel like, it don't feel right. For example, like how are we 2,000 years away from things, you know?
Because for this entire time, Black people have been gaslit to hell and back about what reality is by colonizers. Because, and I've said this before in my Howard Zinn videos, one of the colonizers' most formidable and fatal weapons is dishonesty. They will rewrite a script, bitch. They will rewrite history. They will reframe the narrative and gaslight the fuck out.
And they did.
They will literally structure truth itself in order to justify their heinous behavior. And that's what they've been doing this whole time, but they can't do it anymore. And you can blame it on social media. You can blame it on the stars. And
I was just about to say that before she said say social media. In my head, I was thinking if it wasn't for AI, as well, what I said before about the Epstein files, I just thought about it. It's like if it wasn't for AI, for knowing all this stuff, and we can just ask AI, I don't think a lot of people will be knowing a lot of this stuff. Like ChatGPT, you can ask who was like the creator of lights, like the real creators of like the bulbs, lights. Who was the real creator of phones? Who was the real creators of the lighter? Who was the real creator of this cloth? Who was the real creator of this? You know, they're like the real creators, not the ones that were wanted to put a name on it.
Astrology and the Pluto and Aquarius, you can blame it on it being the end days, like Revelation, whatever you want to call it. The jig is fucking up, and it's truly the greatest show on earth. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It is.
They can't hide behind their delusions.
I can't wait until somebody makes a movie about this in the future.
Anymore. And even if they do try to hide behind their delusions,
and I hope they name it 2026.
Everybody around them now knows what they're doing, as opposed to 20 years ago when everybody was in the same collective delusion together.
Yeah.
The white people anyway. They can't even effectively lie to themselves anymore, because lying to yourself doesn't really hit the same when literally everybody around you knows that you're lying to yourself. Now you just look like a malicious asshole. Now you look like you're trying to manipulate everybody around you when really you're just trying to manipulate yourself because you don't want to wake up to the reality of what this country is and always has been. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, ha 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 ha, you all suck, fuck you, because this was always gonna come. This was all this day, this moment of reckoning, America reckoning with her past, present, and future. It was completely inevitable. We were always going to get
Yep.
I am so thankful to be alive when it's
in 2026. I know
you bitches are waking the fuck up. There's no more pretending, and I love that because I never pretended.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of that reactions. All right, y'all. That's the end of that reaction. What you guys think? Let me know what you guys think of her bombshell truth she dropped on the white folks. Let me know. And if you guys want to see the actual reaction with the Combo Space reactor, feel free to go to her channel and watch the reaction to get her reaction. I'll have her tag next to her name. So yeah, let's get it. Let's go.